Hello learner, greetings of the day. Let's discuss about two-dimensional weaving process. Before we get into this topic, two-dimensional weaving, we will have to see some of the basics about this 2D weaving. First, let's start with what is two-dimensional scene. A 2D scene that is available in the real world. So we will analyze that first and then we can move on to the weaving process. As I already said, we will have to discuss about this 2D weaving procedure, or also we can call it as 2D weaving pipeline procedure. So before we get into this pipeline technique or the 2D weaving procedure, first we will analyze what is a 2D scene. So a scene, you can just see in the example here, this entire thing you call it as a scene. So you can see an image of a house-like figure and a kind of a circle over here. So this entire thing you call it as a scene. And why I call it as a two-dimensional scene? Because this scene is made up of two-dimensional objects. What is a scene first of all? A scene is the one which is made up of multiple 2D objects, or if I call it as a 3D scene, a scene is the one which is made up of multiple 3D objects. Here is an example of two-dimensional scene, and you can see here this scene is made up of multiple two-dimensional objects. So this is object 1, a triangle kind of shape. Next we have a square kind of shape which is a 2D object. This is also a 2D object. You can call it as combination of 2D objects. And then you have, this is also a rectangle which is nothing but a 2D object. All these are of type polygons, you can say. And this is a 2D circle here. So this, all these objects here, you can call them as, like, all together it makes up a scene. So how to construct or how to obtain the image of this particular scene on the computer screen, or how to obtain the image of this on my display window finally. So that is actually a challenge. The scene finally displayed on the window, display window, that transformation or that conversion process, you call it as a pipeline, 2D weaving pipeline. The series of transformation should take place right from the scene, 2D scene, to the final display window. The series of transformation that takes place, or the series of conversions that takes place from the first initial end to the final end, that is the display end, that continuous process is called, that conversion process is called as the 2D weaving pipeline. So we will discuss that with the help of an example. Okay, so in this particular figure, let's take up only the two primitives, that is one triangle, this upper portion, and then a sphere let's take up. So it is something like, from this scene, out of this complete scene, I want to display only few primitives. So what are those few primitives that I want to finally display on my computer screen? That is one triangle, this red triangle what you can see, and a blue circle that you can see. Only these two objects I want to display on my final display window. So we will see that part, how to obtain the image of that. As I already said in my example, the scene consists of multiple primitives. Out of that, I want only this red triangle and a blue sphere that has to be displayed. So you can just see here, a 2D clipping window is required in order to generate only few primitives out of that scene. So my scene consists of a house-like figure and a blue circle there. So out of that entire scene, I want only the desired portion, that is only the top portion of the scene containing the triangle and circle. How to get only that desired portion out of the scene? For that, I require a clipping window, and the clipping window is a two-dimensional clipping window. So what is the meaning of a clipping window? So from my house-like figure, you can see this is a simple house-like figure with a circle. Out of this scene, I am clipping only the top portion. So for clipping the top portion of the scene, I require one 2D clipping window, and that clipping window has certain boundary. It is like a rectangular shape. Its shape is in it's a rectangular shape clipping window, and that clipping window has certain boundary, and that boundary I can call it as something like X window. W stands for window, so clipping window. So XW minimum and comma YW minimum. So this XW minimum and YW minimum indicates the minimum boundary of the clipping window. Similarly, XW maximum and YW maximum indicates the maximum boundary or the upper limit of this clipping rectangle. So I can call this as a clipping rectangle or a clipping window, wherein this is used to just clip or to generate only the desired portion of the scene. So that entire house I don't want to display on my final display window. I want only the upper portion of the house. That for that I have taken a clipping window to get the desired portion, and that clipping window is rectangle in shape with the boundary given by XW minimum and YW minimum, as well as the upper limit is given by XW maximum and YW maximum. So you can just call this clipping window as something like what we want to see. So what is the meaning of what we want to see? Out of this entire screen, what exactly we want to see, or which portion of the screen which we want to see. So that is obtained with the help of this clipping window or a clipping rectangle. And this is a section that what we want to finally see on my display window. We'll move further now. Yes, I have already said what we want to see is nothing but the clipping window part. Finally, whatever you have chosen, the portion of the scene, whatever you have chosen, that is the triangle and a circle, finally that has to be displayed on the computer screen or onto my display window. So where exactly on the display window you want to display that desired portion? So where you want to display, that is decided by this viewport. Remember. So we have the next term, that is viewport. This is the one which decides where exactly we want to finally display that chosen portion of the screen, that desired portion of the screen, whatever you had selected earlier with the help of the clipping window. So that desired portion where you want to see or where it has to be displayed on the display window, that is decided by this viewport. And this viewport, as the name itself indicates, it is the display window wherein you're finally viewing the image, where exactly final image is displayed. Okay, so here if my display window, on my display window, by default my display window is the entire monitor screen. This entire monitor screen is my display window by default, but I don't want this entire screen to be acting as a display window. I'll take only one portion on the screen. That one portion, whatever I'm choosing, is the center of the screen. So you can just see here the center of the screen I have chosen as my display window, and in that portion only, limited portion that is exactly at the center, which is again rectangle in shape, in that portion only I'm finally displaying the displaying the graphics. So what is that graphics that I'm displaying? I've already chosen that graphics portion of the scene with the help of my clipping window, and that selected area, that selected portion of the graphics that I'm displaying on my display window. So what is that display window? Entire monitor screen is actually my display window, but I don't want that entire monitor screen. I'm choosing a viewport. The viewport is a desired portion of the display window, and I'm choosing that as a center of the screen, and that viewport, inside that viewport I get actually the desired output. and you can see now here the output is displayed. It is the same selected area. With the help of clipping window, whatever I had selected, the triangle and sphere is finally displayed on the display window. And you can just see here this rectangle, this viewport also is in rectangular shape. You can see this also has a boundary, and that boundary also I can take it as XV. V stands for viewport. XV minimum, YV minimum. So that is given by XV minimum, YV minimum, and the upper limit of that is given by XV maximum and YV maximum. So that is actually the boundary of the viewport. I hope this window or clipping window and viewport concept is clear. So all that we have to map now is from the clipping window onto the viewport. That is, viewport is nothing but the final desired portion of the display window where you finally display the graphics. Okay, so this is about the window to viewport mapping. You can see it again over here in another example. You can just see here the clipping window, the first diagram, that the leftmost diagram indicates the clipping window, and this clipping window, you can see here there is one simple graphic shown. Okay, this simple graphics is shown, and that is shown with the help of x-axis and y-axis. And you can just see here this entire graphics I don't want to display. I want only the desired portion, only one portion of this graphics I want to display finally on my screen or on my display window. So that area is chosen first. How to choose that area? Select a boundary with the help of a clipping window, and that boundary is given by XW minimum, that's a minimum boundary, and the Y coordinate is YW minimum. W indicates the window, or W also indicates, there is one more term called world coordinates. I'll explain what is that. And then here the upper limit indicates along x-axis it is XW maximum, and along y-axis the upper limit is given by YW maximum. So this clipping window is the one which selects the desired portion that has to be finally displayed. Okay, so after choosing that desired portion, next you're mapping onto the computer screen or you're mapping onto the display window. So where on the display window you want to finally display that selected area, that is given by this boundary. What is that? XV minimum along x-axis, YV minimum along y-axis, that is the minimum boundary of the rectangle. Maximum boundary is given by XV maximum and YV maximum. So that forms a viewport area, and inside that viewport or inside that display window area, you are now ready to display that selected portion of the graphics. So now here you have finally displayed that selected portion of the graphics on the display window. So you call this as viewport coordinates. And now this new term you can see here, world coordinates. Why do I call this as world coordinates? This is called as world coordinates because, see, this object actually, this entire object, whatever I am saying, showing you now, right from this end to this upper end to this rightmost end, this entire object is actually represented in a 3D world first. And that 3D world is nothing but, you can call it as a big coordinate system. And that coordinate system, big coordinate system, you call it as world coordinates. So world coordinates is the one which consists of n number of 3D objects in the real world. So this entire object is represented in our 3D world coordinate system. So that you call it as first as world coordinate system, and this boundary is chosen in this world coordinate system itself. So you call that boundary as world coordinates boundary, or in short you can also call it as clipping window boundary. Okay, so remember that this object, 2D object, is represented in world coordinates first. So this is the first step. Okay, so now you can just say that this object itself has its own axis. You call that as object coordinate system. So this entire 2D object, what you can see, that itself has its own coordinate system, and you call that as object coordinate system. So what are we actually doing in our first step? In our step 1, we are now representing this entire object in a 3D world, or in it we are representing this object in a world coordinate system. So the first step is conversion or the transformation of this 2D object into a world coordinate system. Why? Because this 2D object I am representing in the world with the help of world coordinate system. So this world coordinate system, this conversion of from object to world coordinate system is my first step of 2D weaving pipeline. So 2D weaving pipeline contains series of steps, series of transformations or series of conversions. So that first step of transformation or first step of conversion is converting our any 2D object you take. In my example, this is a 2D object. So that object coordinates is converted into world coordinates. Okay. So that is my first step. And what would be my next step? Out of that entire object, I am choosing one small area. I am selecting an area that has to be finally displayed. So how do I select that area? That selection of area is done with the help of clipping window. So that next step is conversion from world coordinates to clipping window coordinates or clip coordinate system. So conversion from world coordinate to clipping window or clip coordinate system, you call that as a second process of conversion. So why do I call this as conversion again? Because clipping window also has its own boundary that is also represented with the help of certain lower limit and upper limit. So that has got its own coordinate system. So conversion from world coordinates to clipping coordinates or clipping window is the next step in my 2D weaving pipeline. So once the second conversion process is done, next I am ready for mapping. So what is that mapping? I have to map now window to viewport. So that window to viewport is my third step of conversion. So once I am mapping to viewport, my last step would be finally displaying this graphics on the device. So what is that device that I have to finally display? This graphics can be displayed in any of the device. So usually I take computer screen monitor as my output device where I am finally displaying. So computer can be a device. Next, I can also use my mobile phone. That also can be a device where I finally display the graphics, or I can also choose a tab in order to display this graphics. So any number of devices I can use here to finally display the graphics. So this last step is nothing but displaying the graphics on any of the devices. So it is device independent. So the series of steps or series of conversion transformation process, you call it as weaving pipeline. So we will see that again with the help of an example to understand it better. So you can, as I already said, you can just see this entire procedure with the help of an example. So initially you can see all 2D objects, a circle, a triangle, a rectangle. So all these are different 2D objects. So every object has got its own coordinate system. You call that as object coordinate system, or the other word for that is modeling coordinate system. So every object has got its own coordinate system. So now all these objects you constitute into a scene. So I call that as a 2D scene. So where do you represent this 2D scene? You represent this 2D scene in a world coordinate system. So you convert all these 2D objects in such a way that you form a 2D scene. So this scene is formed with the help of world coordinate system. You have represented now, or you have converted now object to world coordinate system. So this was my first step there earlier, right? So the same thing. Next, what do? I convert this world coordinates into weaving coordinates, or you can also call this as a clip coordinates. So for doing this, why do I go for this clipping process? Because this entire scene I don't want to finally display on my device, or finally I don't want to generate the image of this entire scene. I want only certain portion of the scene to be displayed finally. So I am going to choose here, I guess I have chosen only one portion, and that chosen portion is this circle only. So I am choosing this portion finally to display on my final display window. So clipping should be done now. That clipping is performed with the help of a clipping rectangle which has a boundary called x minimum, y minimum and x maximum, y maximum. Now you clip this desired portion. Now this entire object should be existing inside this clipping boundary. Then only I can generate the image of that. right? So this other portion of that, what is that? This entire house like figure is now, where is it? It is outside my clipping boundary, so that I cannot generate the image of that entire house. So the portion that is inside my clipping boundary, only that I can generate on my final display window, or I can map that to my viewport. Remember, so now here this is the clipping boundary. Now this becomes my second process in the pipeline, second step in the pipeline. Now I have the next thing that has to be continued. You have this mapping thing, that as a third step. So what is this mapping? Actually, I'm converting from the clipping coordinate to the normalized coordinate. This transformation actually, you call it as actual clipping, or in other words you can also call it as mapping. So for understanding this mapping, you can just take an example here. So what is that you are doing now? What has to be clipped? I came to know. Where it has to be displayed? How do you come to know? So that is after mapping this 3D or this 2D graphics onto the viewport. So what is that viewport? A desired portion in the display window. You choose the area in the display window, you choose the area on the monitor screen to finally display the graphics. So choosing that area is nothing but the viewport with a certain boundary. And what is that boundary again? XV minimum, YV minimum, XV maximum and YV maximum. So that portion on the screen or on the display window you have chosen, that is nothing but the viewport. And now you choose something called as normalized coordinates. What is that normalized coordinates? Usually you set the boundary as -1 and 1. So what is that? Minimum limit or the lower limit of my window here is nothing but -1. So that you are now, whatever may be the coordinates of this clipping window, you are converting that coordinates of clipping window to the viewport coordinates. The viewport coordinates, or in other words you call it as normalized device coordinates, it is nothing but given by -1 and 1. That is the left extreme lower limit, and the right boundary extreme upper limit is given by 1. Again, the bottommost portion is given by -1, that is the lower limit, and the topmost portion is given by +1, that is the upper limit. And this is nothing but the boundary that you are setting for your viewport, or in other words you call it as normalized coordinates. Okay, so now once your graphics, 2D graphics, is inside this boundary given by -1 and +1, once it is inside this boundary, you can now call that this particular object is normalized. You can call it as a normalized graphics now, because it is inside this boundary. Now you are ready. Once it has been normalized, or once it is represented within the viewport, now we are ready to display this graphics in any of the devices. So that means what? You have made your graphics as device independent. What is the meaning of device independent? You can now display this graphics on your computer screen or on your mobile screen, or it can be displayed on the tablet. Okay, so now you have made your 2D graphics or 3D graphics as device independent. So that is why normalized coordinates is important. Okay, so these are the different steps or the different transformation steps that you have to carry out to finally display the graphics on the display window, or finally to display on a specific device. We will see the steps now. So this is the final two-dimensional weaving pipeline procedure. This is very important exam point of view. So you have to understand it better, and you have to explain this very briefly, all the steps you are supposed to explain here. So the first step here is the object coordinates is given as input. You could see there different objects like triangle, rectangle, that was given as an input, and that you call it as object coordinate system. The other word is modeling coordinates. So you give it as an input, and now that object you should construct with the help of world coordinate system, or you represent those objects or the models with the help of world coordinate system, so that a scene is developed, a scene is created, a meaningful scene is created, and you call it as modeling coordinate transformation. So transformation has happened from object to world coordinate system. So after that, what you do now, the output of this is world coordinate, that is object is represented within the world coordinates. Now you give that as an input to the next step. So what is our next step in the pipeline? That is conversion of world coordinate system into weaving coordinates. So what is this weaving coordinates? It's nothing but you're choosing a specific area in the scene now. That is nothing but clipping. You are now ready to perform the clipping. Choose the desired portion in the scene, so that your clipping boundary is specified. With the help of that, now you weave the weave the desired portion in the scene, and then now you clip it, and now you're ready for mapping into the weave port. From window to viewport, you're ready to map. So now output of that is weaving coordinate. So weaving coordinate is ready, your clipping is performed, what has to be viewed, that is ready. Now where it has to be viewed, that is decided in the third step. So what is the next step? You're transforming this weaving coordinates to normalized coordinates. Now what do you do here? You decide the viewport. Okay, so where this has to be displayed, so you define that viewport, the region on the display window you define, and after that you decide the boundary. So what is that you do? You are now making your graphics, you're making the graphics ready to be device independent. So wherever you are displaying the graphics, it should display without any distortion there. So you're normalizing, or you're setting the boundary there for your display window. And what is that boundary usually set? -1 to 1. So you set that boundary, your graphics will be within that. Now you're ready, now you're normalized, your device is represented with the help of now normalized coordinates, or your device is normalized now. So that is the output of this. You give that output as an input to the next step, and the next step is what? You're mapping finally that normalized coordinate to a device coordinate. So what is this device coordinate? Finally you're displaying the graphics onto the device. The device may be computer screen, or it may be mobile screen, or it may be a tablet. So here finally mapping that onto the device coordinates is the last step. So the final step is over here, device coordinates. So this is the series of steps that you have in order to successfully view the 2D objects on the device screen. Okay, and you call this as a 2D weaving pipeline. Why? Because you can see in every step input is given, that is nothing but the output of one component is given as an input to the next component. So this type of procedure you call it as pipeline procedure or the pipeline technique. So I hope this is clear.